Hey guys, Wels Knight here, and welcome back to another episode of Monster Hunter World. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. We are all ready to start up our next quest. We have to go to the Wildspire Wastes and rescue a scholar. I think for this episode we're going to be using Sword and Shield. I went ahead and made the Puke Sword and Shield, which is basically like a poison sword. When it comes to status effects, poison, paralysis, sleep, etc., generally they are pretty good on weapons that are fast, such as Sword and Shield, dual blades, bow, things like that. Fast-hitting weapons, status effects are very good. Same is true of elemental damage, if you're doing fire damage or anything like that. Generally on slower-hitting weapons, such as Greatsword, they're kind of just there as like an afterthought, and you don't want to worry about them too much. As a general rule of thumb, you want to worry about raw damage, which is your actual like damage stat when you look at... Oh, not that button. When you look at your attack power, that's your raw damage on the right there where it says attack. You want to care about that on slow-hitting weapons. I mean, obviously that's still important on faster-hitting weapons as well. But really, on slow-hitting weapons, you generally only want to care about the raw damage. And then on faster-hitting weapons, elemental damage and status damage are important as well. So, let's go find this hunter guy. Or this scholar, I should say. Got some footprints and things like that to follow. We'll just kind of chase after him a little bit.
Wait.
Oh, and we have mysterious splintered thorns.
What's going on with the scout?
Is this foreshadowing? Who knows? But anyway, as far as the way that status and elemental damage works, they work basically the same. Essentially, there's like a... essentially, you like accumulate damage over time. Well, I shouldn't say they work the same. Status damage, there's basically like an invisible threshold that each monster has. And when it accumulates enough status damage to hit that threshold, they are affected by the status effect. So like if you're trying to put a monster to sleep, for example, you deal enough sleep damage and the monster will fall asleep. And then when he wakes up, that threshold rises a little bit and gets higher so that next time you need to apply more sleep damage to make him fall asleep again. That's basically how it works in a nutshell. That's like the simple the simple version of it anyway. I wouldn't mind, actually, while we're here, let's kill a couple of these guys too. Get rid of some of these. Yeah, I know, field team leader. You act like I've never used the sword and shield before. Anyway, let's go ahead and butcher a couple of these gaiju? Gaojiao? Pronunciations are hard. But basically they're like giant catfish. We'll get a couple of those, because I think there's a piece of armor that actually uses those. The other downside to fast attacking weapons, like the sword and shield, for example, is that you have to sharpen them more often. They go through sharpness very, very quickly, whereas a slow-hitting weapon like Greatsword does not. So there's pros and cons to like every type of weapon. As I've said, every weapon in this game is viable. Every weapon has its place. There is no best weapon, but you know, they all have their different pros and cons, and really it just comes down to like what you like, what you want from a weapon. If you want complexity, if you want something simple, if you want big damage numbers, if you want, there's all sorts of different things. So it all just depends. But I think I want to do at least one episode with at least one episode with every weapon in the game, just so you guys can kind of see how they work. I am much better with some weapons than others. I'm warning you in advance. There are some weapons that I'm pretty bad with, so you'll have to kind of bear with me for those particular episodes. But oh, look, the scholar is sitting over there next to a thing. But I want to get these bones. They're important. There we go. And we might as well gather some of these tracks and things as well. Do a little extra research. Because I have a feeling, just a feeling, that we're probably going to be facing a monster soon. And no, that feeling is not based on the fact that this is my third or fourth time playing through the main storyline of this game. I promise.
God, don't let him find me. Don't let him find me. I saw it.
What did you see? Did you see the monster we're going to be facing?
No.
Or did you see a monster that's
Jyuratodus.
foreshadowing a
That didn't
later
kill
monster in the
battle.
campaign?
It was,
Oh, look! It's a giant fish thing with legs. Where did it go? I do love this little sequence right here, though. And also, that subtly teaches you that you can latch on to those wedge beetles and use them to fly around the map like Tarzan, which is pretty cool. And something that a lot of newer players miss, admittedly. It's one of those things that there's not really a tutorial for it. It just kind of is. Come on, dude, get up. There we go. Sword and shield. A weapon that is often misclassified as a weapon for noobs, but really, it's a great all-around weapon. It's a weapon that's very easy to use because it has basically an infinite Y combo, or an infinite triangle combo, depending on if you're playing on PC or Xbox or whatever. Let's just avoid all this. I should probably heal up a little bit. There we go. So basically, the sword and shield is a weapon that's very easy to use because you can essentially just button mash with it if you want and still do fairly well. But it's also the only weapon that allows you to use items and stuff like that while the weapon is still out, which makes it a very good kind of like support type weapon. So that you can be the guy, if you're in the middle of a fight with a group of people, you can be the guy that uses like flash pods and stuff like that to stun the monsters, and there's a lot of useful things that the sword and shield is good at that other things are not. And honestly, it does very good damage. It's also very good at dealing status effects. It hits quickly. There's a lot of benefits to the sword and shield. I'm trying to get that tail. I don't know if the tail on the on this particular guy can actually be chopped off, but we're gonna try. But my sharpness is already depleted. Ow. Stupid little catfish. Yeah. What do you know? Handler telling me, hey, if you don't want to get hit, dodge the attack. You know, someone said it in the comments. The handler is basically Navi from Ocarina of Time. Okay, get out of the mud, dude. It's not where I want to be. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Ow. Quit it. Stop! There we go. Oh, these stupid little catfish. They're beginning to grow tiresome. I might just kill them. There we go. I think we've got rid of all the stupid little ones now. And now we can go back to focusing on Big Fishy. And I'm not sure, I think... Is he... Ow! Rude! Stop doing that. Let's grab these materials, and I'd really like to go and sharpen. I did swap out my leg armor for the alloy armor, which gives me speed sharpening, which allows me to sharpen my weapon a little bit faster, which is good. Close the distance. Hey. Get back here. There we go. Okay. Move out of the way. I think he's poisoned right now. Nope. When he's poisoned, they'll have like poison drool hanging down from their mouth. I'm gonna need you to hold still for a minute. There we go. Let's go for a mount here. Oh, I think he might actually be low enough. Yeah, he's running away. All right, that's fine. It worked okay. We got a little bit of materials. I'm going to get a little bit of this research stuff so we can follow him around a little bit easier and all that kind of good stuff. There we go. And then we definitely want to sharpen up again before we go and face him. And I think I'm just going to use a regular potion here while we've got a little bit of a lull. There we go. And let's just swing. Ah, there we go. I was going to say, I think there's another nullberry around here. And indeed, there is. There's that wedge beetle I was talking about before. Really useful on some of the later maps where there's a lot of climbing and you can save yourself a great deal of time. I want to get these sleep herbs here. Where, oh where? Oh, there he is. Hey, ugly. I'm right here. All right, now he's mad. And now he's way over there. I'd like, if I can... Yeah, come get me. There we go. He's gonna pop up right there. And now he's over there. Are you coming here? I want this paratoad will allow me to paralyze him for a minute. There we go. If I can get him to come into... Nope. Dang it. I tried. There's another one. That'll allow me to get a nice... Well, maybe we just go for it anyway. Yeah, thanks for the heal, Shadow. I appreciate it. Wasn't there another paratoad over here somewhere? Maybe not. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Ow! Okay. I need you to stop doing that. There we go. And I do have Water Blight, which, that's why my stamina bar is blue right now. But again, Sword and Shield is not really one of the classes where that actually matters. There we go. Get him. Ah, I thought I'd rolled out of the way of that one. That's all right. Close the distance. There we go. Ah. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Ah, he's limping. This is good. All right. So now that he's limping, I think what we want to do... Well, first, let's sharpen. Very soon, we're going to want to get to capturing monsters instead of killing them. Probably starting with, like, our next hunt. Because I think we may have... Now that we've got sleep herbs and stuff here, I think we might have all the necessary resources that we need to make trank bombs and thunder traps and stuff. So, if that's the case, that would be great. I'm not going to heal again because I just don't really think it's needed. Well, you know what? Oh, no. Ah, I didn't mean to use a max potion. I meant to use a regular potion. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just grab that. And then... I think what we'll probably want to do is go for our big, nasty wake-up attack. Yeah, grab the nullberries. We need all of those we can get. They're going to be needed in the future. Okay, so here he is, Big Ugly himself. What we want to do is draw our weapon, roll in, hold B, and then whack him with that. Ah, the other attack missed, but that's because he moved, but that's fine. Oh, I thought I was going to roll out of that one. Hey. And the big advantage of the sword and shield is that because you have so many flexible, like, repositioning moves, you can basically just stick on an enemy like glue, which allows you to deal very, very consistent damage over time. And now he's poisoned. You can see the poison slobber hanging down from his mouth. There we go. So, poison or sword and shield, good weapon for new players, but not limited to a new player weapon. Not just a weapon for new players. Oop, I bumped my microphone. I apologize. Yeah, great, honestly, in the hands of a skilled player. The sword and shield is a great boon to any hunting party. Very, very good. So there we go. We have slain Jyuratodus, Fish Boy. And unfortunately, as far as I know, the only actual water monster in the game right now. They are adding new monsters as time goes on. So it's quite possible we will see more in the future, but currently this is the only water boy in the entire game. So if you want water elemental weapons, water elemental armor, or any of that kind of stuff, you gotta hunt that guy a lot. So we'll just collect all of our rewards. And then, there we go. Lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of my, kind of...
Around, everyone.
Oh, I forgot there's a little cutscene.
Thanks to you, we've made great strides towards understanding the tracks that have turned up across the continent. Our researchers have done some projections, and now we know where Zora Magdaros will go next. It's heading for the Great Ravine.
The Great Ravine? The huge valley out past the Wildspire?
Correct. So I have a proposition for all of you. I say we try and capture Zora once it gets there.
Have you gone mad?
Capture it? Hear me out. The ravine is the perfect terrain for staging such an event. We're not going to get a better chance than this.
If we don't take this opportunity, it could be a decade before the next opportunity presents itself. Maybe longer.
Is it even possible?
If I said it wasn't, would that stop you?
Let's give it a go. With the Fifth supporting us, our chances are as good as ever.
Then it's settled.
Before we send the hunters out for the capture, we need to secure Astera. An Anjanath has been active in the area. Not the kind of monster you toy around with. We'll need a plan for it.
You're right. Hunters, you have your next assignment. Take care of that Anjanath. But be careful. The Anjanath is a fearsome monster. One slip-up and you're done.
Commander, if I may, I think I have a great idea. Hunter, I could use your help. Drop by later, if you will.
Another thing. That troubling report we received. Think you could...
Right.
Good, then. Let's get this show on the road. We have an Elder Dragon to capture. Everyone dismissed.
All right, there we go. So that's all taken care of. So the Anjanath that they were talking about, that's the big T-Rex monster thing that's in the thumbnail of all the videos for this series. And it's as far as I know, it's a new monster in Monster Hunter World. I think Monster Hunter World is the first Monster Hunter game that Anjanath appeared in. And it's also kind of the first wall, I guess you would say, in this game. So, like, if you're playing, Anjanath is probably the first monster that new players will really struggle against. Everything else, you might die once or twice, but usually the monsters before Anjanath are really not that tough. Anjanath is usually the first wall, kind of a skill check, if you will, to make sure that you know what you're doing. Oh my, Anjanath is one nasty monster. You'd better make sure you go in doubly prepared. Now down to business. The reason I called you over is we're having a slight problem here in botanical research, and we need your skills dealing with it. You see, we're trying to develop some tools, specialized tools for hunters, to be exact. Something we'd like to make standard issue. But Toby Kadachi in the forest has been thwarting all our attempts to collect the materials we need. Do take care of it, won't you? Here, take this. This is the first tool we've managed to complete. I hope you find it useful. There's more where that one came from. But only if you take care of our little problem. Thank you, and good luck. There we go. Chief Botanist has given us a mission to go hunt a Toby Kadachi, which we have to do before we hunt the Anjanath. I think, though, I've got a couple more canteen kind of like delivery type fetch quests, so I think I'm going to knock those out real quick, and then I will return to you. The first optional quest is to slay 7 of these Gauju, those giant catfish things that we encountered during our Jyuratodus hunt, and that will unlock a new canteen ingredient for us. And the second is to kill 14 of these Vespoids, which are essentially giant wasp things. And yes, I'm using a bow for this because killing these guys with melee weapons is really annoying because they do nothing but fly. Well, we're up here, though. Since we're here anyway, killing Vespoids, because there's a bunch of them that like to spawn around here, we might as well unlock another camp as well. There's like a little hidey hole up here on the very northern edge of that little area. And down here, you'll find a couple of bone piles, which is always useful. And then in there, you'll find a campsite as well, which is going to be super useful later. There's a monster that spawns down here, and you basically spawn right next to him if you start at this particular camp. So I'm a big fan of this one. Right here.
I think we could build the camp here.
All right, now that we have all of that done, let's go take a look and just kind of see what armor and stuff like that we have available to us now that we didn't before. So, let's go forge equipment, armor, and let's just see. I think the last time that you guys saw was the bone armor here, which looks like this. There's now the Vespoid armor. Quick Sheath is a semi-useful skill depending on what weapon you're using. Some weapons, like bow, for example, have very long sheathing animations, and that speeds it up. This is all pretty bad. Kulu we've seen. Alloy, this might be new to you. And then Puke. Here we go. Jyura. This stuff. This is, it's okay. Weak to fire. Skills are pretty... Focus can be good, depending on your weapon as well. I mean, basically every skill, with the exception of a couple of them, like attack boost, are like... can be good depending on your weapon. Critical Eye is always useful. I don't know. There's a few different things. I don't think we're really interested. I think what I want to do, pretty soon we're going to come across the Anjanath, the dude in the thumbnail. And I think once we unlock the ability to hunt him, I'm probably going to grind him for the full set of armor, and then I'm basically just going to use that armor for the rest of the like early portion of the campaign or of the story. So I think that'll be the way to go. So next time, what other optional quests we have? We also have this Snatch the Snatcher, Capture a Kuluyaku. So basically, that would be capturing... in fact, you know what? We could maybe we'll save that one for next time. I think I'm out of time for this episode, guys. I'm going to call this one here. My friends, if you enjoyed the village, if you enjoyed the village, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.